Hey, what's up, everybody? I just wanted to touch base on everyone's asking me, what'd you do to beat cancer? What'd you do to fight off cancer? How do you get healthy after a cancer diagnosis? How are you doing the things you're doing? Well, there's a lot of stuff that I'm doing. I'm doing so much stuff, it's not even funny. The easiest thing to talk about is the supplements because that's something that a lot of people can do and obtain on their own and things that they can do. A lot of the other things I've done that I truly think has changed the course and trajectory of my treatment. Number one was tumor analysis. Unfortunately, insurance doesn't pay for that. It's an out-of-pocket cost. Totally worth the money. Learned some really cool things. I learned some of the supplements I've been taking are reasons that probably why I'm doing so well because my tumor is very sensitive to the supplements that I'm taking. I also learned some things like if I was to need chemotherapy or things of that nature, the common or the most often used chemo would not work. I'm more of a random chemo that would work. Hopefully we won't ever need to get to that. That's what the surgery's for next week, is to avoid any possibilities of having to put that type of stuff in my body. But more importantly, mindfulness, emotional healing is huge. Getting into some sort of therapy, whether it's talk therapy or you want to do group therapy or you want to do something like that. I think emotions play a huge part in cancer. So if you can do something about that, you should. The other things I've done, hyperbaric chamber, I've done IV vitamin C. There's other things I've done like peptide injections. There's certain things and supplements that I've taken. So let's dive into the supplements since that's really what this video is about. And listen, I'm always open to sharing anything I've learned. My journey is an open book, and I hope that the things that I've learned can change the trajectory of cancer care for anybody and anybody who watches. Unfortunately, you have to be your own best advocate because not many people know what I know. Not many people would have the resources that I have because of the people that I know. And thankfully, I know some really big movers and shakers in the functional medicine community who have hooked me up with some really world-renowned natural health oncologists. So it's how I know what I know. I wouldn't say that I've learned it on my own, but I know the right people to ask. So without further ado, the list of supplements I take is long, so I'm not going to give you the full laundry list of things. But just off the top of my head, before I go into some of my notes, is that vitamin D was huge for me. My tumor is very sensitive to vitamin D. My vitamin D was low. I'm very white and pasty. I go from white to red, back to burnt or from white to red to burnt and back to white again. So the sun and me don't get along very well. So I tend to not get a ton of sunlight from the vitamin D, vitamin D from sunlight, excuse me. So I supplement vitamin D. It's got to have vitamin K to be effective. But just, one of these things that's off the top of my head. Off the top of my head also that's really good for my tumor personally is melatonin. Melatonin is great to help suppress tumor growth at the end of the day. Usually, obviously, melatonin is usually taken at night, but overnight, you're taking melatonin to a certain dosage determined by you or, your natural health practitioner. My dosage was enough to basically retard off any tumor growth. So thankfully I don't have any tumors. And if I'm stopping tumor growth by using the melatonin, I'm stopping tumor transmission and increasing my immunity by adding vitamin D. I've added other things like, I personally am using fish oil because I'm not doing chemotherapy. There's some research that says that fish oil can be detrimental to chemotherapy. So that's where you'd get your omega-3s. You'd want to do something like ground flaxseed. That can really help. So, that's really good for inflammation. It's going to help with the body in many different ways. Basically, what it's going to do is it's going to give you the nutrients you need for your body to do what it needs to do to heal yourself. I would recommend the ground flaxseed over the flaxseed oil because the ground flaxseed is going to have more nutrients in it. Garlic is great. I tend to put a lot of garlic in a lot of things that I eat. You can supplement garlic. I mean, heck, you could just chop up some garlic and eat it if you really wanted to. But it has a lot of antibacterial properties. It's blocking and halting the activation of cancer-causing substances. It enhances DNA repair, and it is a reduction in cancer cell spreading. So, I mean, garlic, great thing, man. Ginger is going to play an anti-inflammatory and an anti-nausea role. So ginger is really good for the stomach. It's just something to think about if you're having some sort of stomach issues, or, it has many other properties, but one of them is it's more really an anti-inflammatory and anti-nausea. Green tea. Green tea is great. I personally drink green tea. I'm not a coffee drinker. But to get the added benefits, the EGCG is an extract from green tea, which has been shown to, again, it's an antioxidant. It's going to retard cancer growth. It helps protect against metastasis. It's just a really great thing, so you can just drink green tea. If you want to go all out like I did and get EGCG supplements, again, very helpful. You know, Selenium is a mineral that removes free radicals from your body. Free radicals cause damage. Free radicals are going to enhance tumor growth, enhance the possibility of metastasis. So again, what I would say to you is this is going to be dependent upon you. I personally am not taking selenium. It's just something that is not in, that I've taken, exclusively. It's in the multivitamin that I take, but ultimately it's not something that I've added in directly into my care plan. But again, like I said, these care plans are different for everybody. And if you can get yourself to a natural health practitioner, I personally use Dr. Nalini Chilkoff out of Santa Monica, California. She is amazing. She's been in the business for over 30 years. She's heads up the American Integrative Oncology Association. So, these are the people you want on your team who've taught me most of the stuff that I've learned. But she has a course that I've been thinking about taking because I'm very interested in this stuff now for obvious reasons. Turmeric again, it blocks cancer cells from multiplying. It helps with a lot of different types of cancer cells. It slows tumor growth. These are all things that you're going to want if you happen to have active cancer in your body. It's not something you want. Personally, I don't have any active cancer. I am cancer-free. I fought it. I won. I beat it. Now I just got one more surgery to kind of prove that that's where we're at. But again, I have not stopped taking turmeric, and I am a big fan of turmeric on my food, so I add it in multiple places. Not only do I supplement it. Vitamin D, as I already spoke about that, it's on the list. But again, vitamin D is huge. Make sure your vitamin D is in optimal ranges. A lot of this stuff you can't really know without a blood test. And if your doctor's not running a blood test, or if you are a cancer patient and they're only running the big three, the LDH, AFP, and HC, I can't remember the other one, but they're tumor marker cells. Off the top of my head, those three, you got to have some pretty active cancer for those to go up. The ones that we're looking at with my doctors are like 10, 15 different markers of inflammation, looking at the bioterrain, understanding what's going on. And one of the things that was part of that panel was vitamin D, and my vitamin D was optimal if you look at the range. Now, the ranges in the labs are not quite what they should be. Unfortunately, the most people who get labs on a regular basis are sick people. So the reference ranges that they have at the labs differ from lab to lab, more so by region, not necessarily in Rochester are you going to have two different labs that are going to have two different values. But, if you're in the South, you're in the Midwest, you're on the West Coast, the values are going to be different, very drastically different sometimes. So what you're going to find is that if it's a sick population going there, that's not really optimal ranges. So my vitamin D was within normal limits, but unfortunately it was really low. So we supplemented, brought it up, and it's had a profound effect on my health, my immune system, and overall function of my body. Vitamin E is another excellent cancer-fighting nutrient. It's a fat-soluble. It significantly reduces the risk of certain cancers. Vitamin E is overall a really great supplement that's going to help with many different things in your body, but ultimately You can find that in many different foods: almonds, avocado, broccoli, beans, mango, spinach, olive oil. These are the things you're going to want to incorporate into your diet. What I do with my diet is, intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is huge. Um, it has to be a 16 hours off minimum for the best results, with 8 hours on of eating. Because of my schedule, I tend to eat the later in the day, 12 to 8, 1 to 9, because I tend to work late. So it was easy for me to implement. Some people have trouble with it, but I think ultimately once you get used to the groove of the intermittent fasting, it can be really beneficial to you. The other things I did is carbs. There is no carbs in my diet. I mean, I get some carbs from fruits, get some carbs from some vegetables. But I do not want to spike my sugar. Sugar feeds cancer. I want my sugar to stay low, which reminds me, one of my other things that came back off my tumor analysis is that metformin could be something that I could utilize to retard any tumor growth in the future. It hits the tumor on 5 different levels. So ultimately, what you're looking at is the amazing aspect of this tumor analysis has told me that there's some off-label drugs like metformin and statins that can help kill cancer in my body. And it's a step that you could take before chemo so that you don't have to poison yourself with chemo. Now, I'm not going to say that these other drugs are great for you, because I have some really strong feelings about metformin and I have some really strong feelings about statins. However, if I have to pick those over picking chemo, I'm going to take the lesser of two evils and take the metformin or the statins. So if this is something that you're interested in, you want to learn more, where did I get my tumor analysis? Drop a line, comment below. Let me know if there's a time that you guys would like me to do a live and I can answer some questions. I will be in a hotel for the next couple days before I head off for surgery. Once I'm in surgery, it's going to be kind of hard to probably talk to you guys for a couple days, but I'll be doing lives from the hospital bed. I don't care. So you guys let me know. I'd love to talk. I love to talk about this stuff and help you guys on your journey back to health, whether it's cancer, heart disease, autoimmune conditions, headaches, migraines, you name it, digestive disorders. But currently my battle is with cancer. So I've battled other things over the years. I've won. So this is just another one that I just got to get past and get through. So if this is something that you want to learn more about, please let me know. I'll be happy to go live and talk more to you guys. In the meantime, everyone have a great day. Bye.